Hello, I hope I'm being heard well enough. You're welcome to our live this week. Hi, Maz. You're not yet on. Let me bring you on. Okay, let me change your name first of all. Okay, like we have someone else in the background, Mayowa. Let me bring him up. Hi, Mayowa. Can I hear your voice? Hi, Maz. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Exhausted, but yeah, thank God it's the weekend.
I hope it's not as busy as mine. Mine was crazy,
Yeah,
hectic.
I think it's better than last week, but it's always a push, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, welcome. Hi, Mayowa. Please, if you can talk, we would like to hear your voice. I don't think you've joined us on this panel before. We're happy to have you here. So, I will start by introducing our topic today. But before I start, a little housekeeping just to remind us of what we do. We discuss trending and sensitive topics that are able to influence the society positively. We don't spend much time, we just spend about 1 hour every week. You can join us, we'll be happy. You can join us on our different channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Okay, what's the topic for today? It's exploring the quick rich syndrome in Nigeria, impacts and solutions. Impact, influences, and solutions. We understand that we have a very wide audience from various parts, especially of Africa, and we might have a few audience in Europe and UK. But we particularly chose to address Nigeria because we seem to think that it might be something very much relevant to Nigerians. But definitely, whatever we'll be discussing today, we apply to anyone, irrespective of where we live in. So you're welcome. To start, we'll just do a brief introduction on why this topic is relevant. So we know that in this day and age, it's always been a problem, but it's worse now. And there are a lot of factors that has aggravated this problem we're about to talk about, and which is the desire to get rich quick. Most people no longer want to go through the normal process that requires hard work, growth until you arrive to where you plan to arrive. So we want to discuss this. How serious is it as a problem, or is it that we are just exaggerating, or we are just bothering about what is not a problem? So we'd like to hear from you. Let's start with Mars. What do you think? Do you think it's something relevant?
Absolutely. I think it's relevant because you find even young children, let's start from the grassroots. Young children are just anticipating getting rich. And if you ask them, how do you want to do it? How do you want to get through to that position? They actually looking at different ways that are not actually ethical or not necessarily even religious, because some of the I know that some of our core values are from our ethnicities and our cultures and also religion, and you find that the good books always frown at certain ways of doing things, but you find that these kids are damning the consequences and they're like, we want to get rich by hook or crook. So it has definitely become a problem. And if you look at it from the top level, you find that a lot of people in very hierarchical positions have also done that. And it's like promoting it. So I think we need to address it. I don't know whether we're going to look at it from top bottom or bottom top. Either way, something needs to be done. And I think it's good we start having these honest conversations within our different family groups, and then within our different communities, and even within our different religious groups as well. What's the craze about making it, and making it through hook and crook, by hook or crook? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to quickly do another quick give another quick information to those in the audience. If you've gotten the link that can allow you join us on the panel and you wish to join us, please, when selecting options at the beginning, kindly select both audio and video options, which you can always switch off when you before you enter the studio. But if you don't select that option at the onset, you might not be able to join us actively, because it means that your app that you are using would not recognize and would not be able to use either video or audio. To be able to sort this, my suggestion is, if you've made the mistake already, you have to log out from that particular browser, use the same link on a new browser, different. Like if you use the Chrome, then you have to use maybe Mozilla or any other browser you may have. And then this time, when logging in, make sure you select both options. I suspect this is what has happened to Mayowa, because both his audio and video options are switched off. So I think you might need to log out from this browser, use a new browser, and try to select those options when logging in. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mary, Maz, I really appreciate your contribution. I'm happy you agree with me that it's a problem. Um, so now let's go deep into the discussion. Let's talk about. Let's start with what is the impact of this quick. What has it cost in our society? I know you might have said one or two things, but there are quite a lot that we can talk about, just to highlight how bad it is. What do you think?
I think it's best to start with the factors. What's causing it? Because we're looking
Yeah.
at the impact. But what causes? Let's ask what brought us to this? Why did we find us? How did we find ourselves here?
Okay.
What's making
Okay.
us have this mindset?
Okay.
What do
That's
you
a good.
think? Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
I think we can
before we
start
start
from
thinking of
there.
what is, let's think of what brought us this. How did we get here?
Yeah.
Because I don't know
Eh,
about you, but growing up, I think
yeah.
I never had that mindset. Did you? Of thinking of the dubious ways of making it.
I think it's always been there. If you ask me, in my opinion, it's just gotten worse and worse. And there are many factors that will influence this, but for me, I will start with cultural influence. So, one part of our culture, generally, irrespective of the tribe we are from, which tends to respect people based on their income, irrespective of how they've gotten that wealth. So people are respected based on what they can bring to the table financially. In fact, it's so bad that even right from time, if you remember, people used to buy traditional titles, which is supposed to be a, a means in which the society selects people that they respect. If you remember, people used to buy traditional titles. I remember when I was very small, and they say if you have money, go and buy it.
I didn't know
So yeah, it's so my point is that it's gotten worse, which we'll talk about, but there is something about our culture which seems to give too much respect and relevance to someone's income or someone's financial capability. So you have a situation whereby there are some kind of things that people say which is not common if you interact with people from other parts of the world. So things like you're arguing with someone, next thing is that you know who I be, you know it's in, or you're on social media and people are having a kind of bant, and the next thing is he go fit buy you and your papa. So essentially we have this culture that once somebody is very well influenced, you not reach to challenge them if you not get, or if you don't have, sorry I'm using pigeon, but I'm trying to pass this
that.
message to those. If you not get the money, then you not go fit challenge someone. Nobody's saying, oh, what does he bring into the table? How can he reason? No. If you like, reason very well. If you are speaking or arguing with Davido or one of these rich people, you're going to see his fans saying, who you be safe?
Mm.
Davido go fit buy you. Davido can buy your family. So it's something that is rooted in our culture,
Mm.
and which is one of the factors I just wanted to talk about.
That's quite valid. So yes, culturally, I can see how that. But the way you've explained it nicely, it's true. Yes, because if you're not from a certain level, if you're not at a certain level within the society and seen as having achieved wealth, they don't want to know how you got it, but just have the wealth. They don't question how you got it. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that. Another factor I say is unemployment. I can see when I graduated, when I was in Nigeria, when I left, I didn't graduate from Nigeria. When I left, I could see already a lot of graduates, backlog of graduates that had finished like 5, 10 years even before I was even due to be finishing, and they were still not with jobs, or they had finished and they were not even doing a graduate level job. Do you know how depressing that can be? And then comes the peer pressure. You see your friend riding in a flashy car, and you're thinking, I was even better than this person in school. I know I did things the right way. Well, how is this person even at this level? And I can't even eat like one meal, not to talk of the 3 square meal that they talk of. Yeah, so unemployment, if you're able to get, and such a person can look at different means of making it. That kind of person will think of it like, no matter what, I'm gonna make it, whether by hook or crook. So if you provide good jobs for people, if people have the opportunity to actually work in a legal way, I don't think they'll look at alternative ways that are unethical or frowned upon to make money. I think one of the biggest contributing factors is unemployment. And
Yeah,
an idle man is a devil's workshop.
yeah, I agree with you. Just to add just something to that. So imagine someone who has suffered all his life or has been unemployed, been hustling and struggling. He just has the opportunity to to make money from somewhere. It's going to just most people, especially if you have principles or you walk by certain principles, most people will just use the opportunity to try and gather as much, more of like an insurance against suffering what they've suffered in the past. So, in
Yeah.
addition to what you said, yes, it's a strong influence.
And you see with the concept of Yahoo Yahoo, which most of us, I don't know, let me break it down. Yahoo Yahoo is like 419. And how can I explain 419? It's a dubious way of making money. Basically, they are criminals. Right. So with Yahoo Yahoo, you see them in flashy cars, you see them, all the girls are going around them. They have the latest fashion clothes and everything, the fashion shoes and everything, houses. And you who have done things the right way, you're still there. Nothing. It takes a certain level of discipline to say, I stand my ground, my integrity. I'm not going to go into that means of, because it's very easy. We can talk about it from today to tomorrow, but it's very easy to bow to such pressure if you don't have the right f- groundings, foundation in your own integrity and dignity, because it's quite easy to fall for such. So unemployment number one. The second thing I'll look at, sorry, culture number one, unemployment number two. I will look at also poverty. When people are poor, there's some. I think it was one of the what I think was Dino Milai that said made a statement along the lines of, if the rich keep building castles and making themselves higher, one day, and they're surrounded by poverty, they're surrounded by the poor people. One day the poor people will tear down their castles. And it's true, it's very true.
Yeah,
If you
true.
think you're a rich person and you don't want to support other people, all the policies you are making are only to make yourself wealthier. One day you'll find yourself the only island, and water being the poverty around you will consume you. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And then another thing is the influence of social media. Huh? You see, most of us believe in wrong things. We are believing, we see a lot of illusion on social media and we believe in those lifestyles. And they are not even real. They're smoking mirrors. So you see people, influencers say how to get rich. It's 7 steps to do and get rich. And that influencer is not rich. Oh. You will think that person is rich, and you yourself, you will now start following those 7 steps. Some of them are Ponzi schemes as well. So I think it's very important that what we are projecting on social media, we should also think of other people and think of what kind of influence are we having on these people. We are promoting get rich. If the person is not cannot date me, if the person cannot give me 5 million on the first date, the person should go away. Someone can go and look for can go and do something criminal to get that 5 million just to get your head. How about that?
I agree. I agree. I agree. Social media is another very strong influence. We cannot talk too much about it. It's really a strong influence. Let me quickly welcome Innocent. Innocent, are you with us? Your your volume is muted. Oh, okay. You're with us.
Yeah, sure, I am. I'm following.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Good evening, everyone.
Sheung is at the background. Let me bring her to the studio. Hi, Sheung. Good evening. Are you
Good
hearing us?
evening.
Oh, hi, Sheung. It's good to have you
Good
here.
evening, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I
Yeah,
just saw
yeah.
the link. I didn't
Oh,
know. I just saw the
oh, no
the
problem.
message.
In any way, we are happy to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so you are actually on the panel. That means you are live and you can actually contribute live, if you don't mind. Okay. Why did she go off? Okay.
Maybe it was a glitch.
No, maybe she didn't know she was live. Okay. So, yeah, let me bring her in again. Hi, Sean. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
sir.
live. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Good to have you here.
Good evening, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
everyone.
much. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, sir.
It's fine.
Yes, sir.
So we'll just continue from where we stopped. So we've been going through different factors that influences the rich weak and quick rich syndrome in Nigerian youths. I've really learned a lot from Mars, and I also talked much about the cultural aspects of this. Um, meanwhile, sorry. So meanwhile, there are other things that might still contribute. What do you think? Aside from we've talked about culture, we talked about social media. We also talked about poverty and unemployment. Does anyone have anything else that he can suggest might?
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, sir, like this morning, something popped up in my mind, and I was like, this could actually be like a small book, ruined by prophecy, question mark, like ruined by prophecy. Sometimes I remembered growing up, someone said, I lived with a particular pastor, and his neighbor was always saying that, oh, they've told her that his son will go abroad. So that guy pulled out of university, and his brother that was really working at things were going on well for him, but this other one had conduct disorder because mom had heard in quotes, maybe somebody had prophesied that it would be great, but it was not working towards greatness. Sometimes when God shows us things to say go in this direction, or sometimes he does not show us that process. For instance, I used to use myself as an example. I wrote WAEC 10 times. I wrote WAEC 10 times, like WAEC, GCSE, GCE, and all that. I wrote JAMB 7 times. And not because, how do I explain it? The initial period was that because I didn't pass maths on time.
Yeah.
And the problem was that, one, I didn't really know maths at some point. The second thing was that even when I went into the WAEC, the exam hall to write exam, they would collect my answer script before time, because with the help of God, I'll say I'm not cheating. I just want to do everything with integrity. And they'll be like, are you the only one here? Every other person would have paid. I remember the particular last one that I wrote. I think three of us, the head boy and the assistant head boy, and I joined them in the school just for the WAEC. Three of us were the ones that didn't pay for the exam. And before, I think still like I think we still had 1 hour. I don't want to exaggerate. They collected the script and I had to beg. I remember the particular time I cried saying, God, what's all this mess? Even if it's the day of chemistry, they will do the same thing. The day of English. And one day I vowed to myself, that I would write to educational minister then, and nothing like that happened though. But because of all that I'd been through, when I went into medical school, my first semester, for instance, I had 92 over 100 because I'd imagine finishing in a secondary school year 2000, entering university 2008. I'd stayed at home for almost 8 years. In my first year, I was almost 23 years old. I was 23 in my first year, but I entered shortly before I turned 23. And at that time, even till today, I can't go for any exam and not finish. Because during those periods where I was, crying, waiting on God for success for my WAEC, I learned how to manage time. That if I have an exam of 3 hours, I should have finished by 2 hours. I may not get up. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes at the end of the day, we have a foresight of where we are going, but we don't know what the process is. So instead of cutting corners, instead of saying, oh, but I want to get rich on time, just dupe people, we don't need all that. Life is a process. It does not matter. Even Jesus too went through a process. And so if we are able to patiently wait, and after all that season of, those WAEC, that I did, to the glory of God, I entered for medicine. To the glory of God, I've had to be forced in so many things. For instance, I went to a private university, Bingham University, so that in case anybody's listening and let it not be that someone is lying, I was Sheon Duro Jaye before Sheon Akinlua, before I got married. I got married in 411. And to the glory of God, I'm the first person from my school to have come to the UK, to have written PLAB. It was my result to the glory of God. The result of the girl that failed, that wrote WAEC 10 times. It was my result to the glory of God, that they used to give us accreditation. I was going back and forth with GMC and my school. Even though I'd gone through failures, but God rewrote everything. So that rich quick, that getting rich quick scheme is a disaster. Only if we are able to go through that process. Processes in life would hurt us. It's tough, but eventually everything will work out well. And let me say one last thing, even though, to the glory of God, I said, I'm the first from my school to have written PLAB, to have even started working as a doctor. Everything is all about Jesus. And it's not about any glory. Even where I work at the moment, to the glory of God, in a foreign man's land, I am the first trainee doctor in forensic psychiatry in North Wales. I'm saying this, I know this is life, and there's no iota of lies here. So that, if you look back, imagine the girl that wrote WAEC 10 times, that wrote JAM 7 times. At the 5th time, I passed my JAM, but I didn't enter school until 7th time, and the same math. If you wake me up now to say solve any math, I'll just look at example or anything, and I still have it. It's still there. So,
So Sheon, if you allow me to just briefly interrupt.
yes,
So
sir.
I appreciate your example. In fact, this is the kind of example that we need. This is one of the kind of examples that we need. You followed the process. Your own was a long process, but you are there today.
Yeah.
I can see it. I'm a testimony. So you don't even need. Yeah. So
Yes.
you are there today. I'm
Yes,
sure
sir.
you've almost forgotten all what you went through, if not
I don't
for
remember.
now that you have to talk about it.
Yes,
But
sir.
our youths always think that it has to be now, it has to be now. But the truth is that most of the very successful people go to athletes, Olympic athletes, go to entertainment industries, go to education. They go through process. They start from somewhere, they
Yeah.
grow, they develop, and they become what they
Yeah.
even go to businesses. Go to businesses. The real successful people, they go through process. But today, people want to just, get it done sharp, sharp. And we have our movie industry. You see one guy who was hustling in the village, and then he was suffering, and then he just go city. They will just write 1 year later, the guy will just show cars, spraying money, and so it's not bad though. But the truth is that these things have subtle influence on our youths. They begin to forget that life is a process. But we can't completely blame them. That's why we talked about other factors. We have other factors which is influencing all these things, and which we have to also address. We're
Can I
not completely blaming our youths.
can I come in to say
Yes, please.
also role models? The role models. You just said something about the movies. You see the role models that we have, so not just movies, the celebrities that we have, they promote this get rich quick syndrome. And most of, if you really look at it, sorry, there's a background noise.
Okay,
So
maybe I'll just mute.
most of
Okay.
them, if you really look into their lives, they have no foundation. They really have no foundation. They are baseless. What can I say? How can I put it? There's no, you can't really put any, you can't put a finger to say this is what this person is known for. This is what they've accomplished. This is what they've given to society. It's so, their life is so empty. And I don't know how to explain it to you. Yes, they try to do social media. Oh, I'm giving people things, and I'm not against you showing it on social media, giving you, but there's something about it that takes away that. It's a different thing when I come to say, when I come out, nobody is pushing me. I come out and say, "Do you know what Dr. Keno did for me? He did this for me." You guys would never know, but he was one that pulled my career by doing this for me. He did not just give me fish, but he taught me how to fish. But you see in social media, you find that it's the celebrities themselves coming out to say, "We are here today to give feed 5,000 people. We are giving them this thing for 5,000," or they could go on their this and say, "If you know you want 500 pounds, just comment here." What is that? So you see people now seeing that will say, "I want to be like that. I want to be saying, when if I want to be the person that put it on social media and say, if I want, role models are not there. Good role models, they are there before you, and you see their lifestyle. You're able to say, this is this person's journey. I could see when this person suffered. I could see when this person started this business. I could see how the person was persistent. I could see the consistency of this person, and it yielded fruits. Not just boom, one person was he came from the village, boom, to the city, and he became rich. We cannot actually substantiate what he did. What is his trade? What is his skill? You can't put a finger to it. So what I'm saying is role models are really thin. We can't find them. They are thin on ground. And this is what's affecting us. The children are seeing only the ones that they can see. The ones that they're seeing is what they are actually copying. Remember,
Yeah.
are like a sponge. They soak what's around them. And again, if a family, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of families don't have good background for training children. You see a child might fail something, and you see the parents going to beg, pay, not beg, pay for it for the child to get a place. I don't want to get into that, but that is, you're teaching the child that is, the child can actually get a place without, and those that actually deserve the merits would not get it. I remember the days of writing jam. You just, when when you just talked about jam, I remember it gave me like, I just broke into cold sweat thinking of it. Then you write jam and you even get good score. When you go, your name is not on the board, or you do remedial and you apply for this course and you reach the cut-off point, and they did not give you, they'll put you in one. I'm not discriminating any course, but I'm not, I didn't ask for botany and both to study botany or zoology. They'll put you in zoology, they'll put you in botany.
This matter, it hard though. You see, the truth is that there are so many things that is influencing this issue. Like what you said now, the person that the big the rich man's, I'm trying to be aware that we have other audience who may not understand pidgin. So the rich man's child during your time, he would have made a few calls and they would give him or her the course, even if it was lower than yours. So how would that not influence you tomorrow to say, no, I have to be, I have to be rich? So this thing is really a complex mix of things. We have to start from our culture first of all. We have to stop respecting people based on how much they have or what they bring to the table intellectually and otherwise. That is the number one thing. Like here, if you are driving the best car and you're passing by someone, it's not going to start respecting you because you are driving one car. It's not going to respect you at all. That will not influence his own interaction with you. So there's nothing that is going to push you to want to be richer than your neighbor because it's not going to change your status in the society.
So that what you've said there,
Yeah.
it's down to mindset as well. The kind of mindset we've built back home. I think we exposure will give us, will take us there one day. But right now, where we are in Africa, with the way you can't compare the two worlds. They are
Yeah.
worlds apart. Like
Yeah.
here now, as you said, someone can be, you can see the CEO of the company walking with their t-shirt to the office and do their work. They don't come with, like, suited up tuxedo. Everyone will know that I'm the one, shine bobo. Though everyone will know that, yes, I am the owner of this company. You don't see that. It's even we that overdress. Sometimes I used to tell myself, don't overdress so more than the director. So then I'll come and ask you question I don't know.
Let me just confirm that Tunde Gold is here. Tunde, are you the one there?
Yeah, I'm the one. No, can you hear
Oh, okay,
me?
okay. We can hear you. I just wanted to be sure.
Well, I don't know why my camera is not coming up.
You have offended the gods. Trust me.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
that's okay.
let's move on while you are trying to sort yourself. But you can still talk with just audio. It's fine.
No, I
Um,
don't want it to. I want everybody to see my face, especially
just okay.
the new face I'm seeing this night.
Okay, that's Dr. Shin.
Oh,
Good
Don't
evening,
worry.
sir.
See,
Good
Dr. Shin,
evening.
the day we have mental health issues, we are gonna invite you. You're the one that will be our anchor. No, not anchor.
We
yeah.
can
Our
see now
guest
Sunday.
that day.
I've been able to
Good
activate
evening, sir.
myself.
Good
Okay.
The
evening, ma.
gods have
Good evening.
finally smiled at me. Hi, Doc.
Good evening,
Hi,
sir.
Maz.
Good
Good
evening, ma.
evening.
Thank
Hello.
you, ma. Thank you, ma.
I'm sorry
Thank
I'm
you,
late.
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
need you,
It's
Dr. Sheung. So you're into mental health because many of us, we are not plated that are normal anymore.
No, no. God is our stability, everybody.
yeah. So let's move on. The truth is that if we want to talk about factors, there are many. We have
Hmm.
things like the impact of the economy,
Yes.
um, delusion and hopelessness,
Hmm.
um, erosion of values, which Mars briefly pointed out, mental health issues, people are under constant pressure with unrealistic financial aims and goals. Um, um, so there are a lot of factors, but now I want us to go to the next this thing, which is the impact. So it's one thing to just talk about all these things, but is it really a problem? Are we're just worrying unnecessarily? What do you think? Because I think there is negative impact of this issue on the society. So let's just quickly run through some of them. We can pick one and just talk a bit about it. I want to start. Sorry, I know I'm the anchor, but sometimes we try to utilize our position. So let me start with something like
You don't mind.
ritualists. Let me just start with something like ritualism, which is a problem in our society. I think it's always been there, but it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse and it's bad. And what is your idea? You want to go and meet a spiritualist who claims to have the ability to make you rich overnight. Sometimes even with the threat that you might not live long. Maybe they will tell you 2 years to 5 years you might be dead, but youths are willing to enjoy that word for just 2 years and 5 years and go. So that is one of the impacts. So this ritualism is such that people would not mind killing others, killing young girls Sometimes they'll ask for virgins. They'll go and look for virgins, kill them, take their parts just to be able to do this. And funny enough, we may think it happens in our society and nobody knows. But the truth is that these things seep outside. When people want to come to your country, they do some research and then they will find that, oh, one of the problems is, oh, somebody can be um, whipped away and used for rich. It's going to negatively impact tourism. It's going to negatively impact wealth coming into our country. So if one person is doing it, killing people, aside from the fact that it's killing people, it's also killing the economy. Because anything we do that negatively impacts our reputation is also going to impact our economy directly or indirectly. So that's one thing I want to just talk about. Let me quickly leave the table for others to bring in whatever they have to say.
So I'll just carry on with what you've said about the from what your point out. It takes me nicely to increase crime rates. So you find that where there's lots of get people trying to get rich the right wrong way by hook or crook kind of means, you find that there's a lot of crime happening. The crime rate increases, as you can see in Africa right now, in Nigeria particularly. The scam rate is too much. I'm sure you're familiar with the prince. The when people say that I'm a prince, famous prince from Nigeria, it's always attributed to Nigeria. To the extent that whenever someone even says, "Where are you from?" I'm like, should I say Zimbabwe? Because once you say Nigeria, I don't know if you've experienced it. There's a certain kind of way they look at you.
I've experienced it. I've experienced it. Some
Yeah,
some of them are blonde. They will just tell you.
yeah.
They will just tell you
There
like
was one that told me I need to keep my purse closer to me and just laugh, just sarcasm. I'm just laughing, and I'm like, I understand
What
where
a
you're coming
shame.
from. Yeah. So increased crime rates. You see cyber crime as well. It's rocket high, and this ritualistic killing and even kidnapping. Nobody is safe anywhere. In fact, you cannot even you. They say the enemy lives within, so you don't even know whether it's your own relative that is telling your location. There was this famous. I don't know if you saw it. It was a clip that I think it was a native doctor that captured it. He said two boys, a little young boy, like around the age of 9 or 10, took his friend to the native doctor and said he wanted to sacrifice the friend. And the native doctor told him, he said, "Do you want me to sacrifice him now?" And the boy said, "Yes, sacrifice him." And the friend was begging him, "Please, don't do this to me." And do you know that the native doctor had turned to the friend and said, "Okay, this your friend brought you for sacrifice. I'm not going to use you. I'm going to use your friend now. Can you?" And the boy wanted to melt down, wanted to die. The one that's the actual ritualist. And the friend was like, "So this is what you wanted to do to me. Now the power is in my hand." So it's just showing you there's no trust anymore because the crime rate has gone high. You don't even trust your own brother or your sister or your friend because most people now are just the race for money is now taking hold of people's senses. The love of money has become real and is projecting diabolical crimes. So yeah, that one of the things I pick on is increased crime rate, and also you find broken family structures. A child that's supposed to be in school decides to fall out of school and just join something. And when the first child or second child or whoever it may be goes let me take for a first child, for instance. Do you know that it's very easy for the rest children to follow suit if the first child sets a pace for them? So it can really affect families. You find the parents are not happy, especially if they are parents that are God fearing or parents that have values, good values. If their child follows that kind of lifestyle, they become brokenhearted. Some of them even die out of heartbreak. And then the siblings that are young, some of them might follow that line that the first child has shown them. And only God could save such a family. So it actually could break down the family structure. Thank you.
thank you so much. Just a quick one, just to know who is the second to the gold we have. If you don't mind, if you unmute and let's hear you. Hi, we have another Tunde Gold online. Can you please introduce yourself if you
That's
don't
a
mind?
that's a counterfeit too.
Counterfeit Tunde Gold. Okay. We wait for you to talk while we go ahead. Um, so Sean, what do you have to say about the impact? We've mentioned quite a lot. I hope we didn't mention what you had in mind.
No, sir. So the impacts, like Sister Maz said, we don't because of that we don't trust one another. The other thing is it will continue to bring about decadence in the society, and people will not be able to, how do I say it? Will not be able to achieve all that they can achieve. They will waste that potentials, that ability they have. So and that will not make the society move forward. The other thing is it will pass down from generation to generation and to become cultural. And one thing I say is that culture is set of values that different people have adopted, whereas values is based on individual goals, individual how do I say it, individual um lifestyle. That's like, let's say for instance, in my household we have values. These are our values. But when we adopt other people's values, then it becomes cultural, and that may not be the best. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And for instance, initially I was trying to talk about ruined by prophecy, somebody's story. And yesterday I just heard a story or somebody's story. Well, not somebody's story, my story. Somebody was saying something. I remember I was asking somebody about somebody, and the person was like, "Oh, one pastor somewhere." And I remembered it happened 17 years ago. I was going to Jos to write post UME
Yes.
for my school. And somebody called me and said, "Don't go because I have journey ahead." And I said, "No, I will go." And the person was like, "No, don't go. This is a prophet or somebody or something like that." And I said, "God, the only thing is, I know from Lagos to Jos will take me many hours. Just take me down safely. Don't let me die. Let it not be that I dishonored somebody and then then I now had an accident and die." I just said, "God help me." And I went to the glory of God. God helped me for the first time. I gained admission into university. And what made me share this story is that I was now asking somebody about a lady who was doing nursing, who had started nursing. And the person was like, "Oh," I was like, "Did this person finish?" The person said, "No." I said, "Why?" That the same particular pastor told the lady not to finish. And I'm like, I don't understand. So, and this lady had actually
Please drop that
finished with,
pastor's name. I will check him.
I don't even know. I was young, honestly. I was young. So I can't even remember. I grew up in Lagos, but the particular man was in Abeokuta. I don't know him. And I used to tell people, I don't do these things. I go down on my knees and I pray. I trust God because I've seen lives, destroyed. People are waiting for somebody, man of God, to tell them how to move forward. If I need to move forward, I'll just go on my knees. Jesus, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. So imagine, so that's one thing. So imagine like some people call those things disillusionment. Somebody with bright future. And I witnessed something too like that in a particular university. This guy, he was in 5 level. And all of a sudden, he said God has called him to be a pastor. I bet this man, I didn't really know him, but he was in a particular, it was in a Christian school. And I also had to call one of my teachers, church teachers, to please talk to him. But the guy was already made up. He left school, but I've not really heard his name. I don't think he's like, somebody that we will know in the society because he pulled out to do something. So sometimes, there are young ladies, young men, they have, because they have love for God, they have that passion. People would mislead them. You don't have to be a pastor, to fulfill God's purpose. Even in that marketplace, in that workplace, we want to fulfill God's purpose. So these are some of the things that has, brought about decadence in the society. Not channeling that God's resources well. Sometimes I think I sit down like, oh God, with the help of God, I can sing. But I'm not like Nathaniel Bassi. I'm not like some people that are at the forefront. But does it mean that I'm not fulfilling God's purpose? Because people don't know me, I don't, I even like, God, just keep me and everything. But does it mean I'm not fulfilling God's purpose? So some of those things, popularity, that influence or being an influencer has shifted people from that focus, from real life focus. So these are some of the things that have also contributed negatively, if not channeled well, to the society. Everybody wants to be popular. Yeah, that kind of thing. I want to be like this. I don't want to be like anybody. I just want to be where God wants me to be, flourishing. So these are some of the things. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you,
Can
So
I
sir.
can
just, there's one point I just remembered that, and I wanted us to like, I wanted Tunde to talk about it. Tunde is you. Tunde Gold is you. I want to talk about this. Can we talk about Ijeba? What's Baba?
Ijesa.
Baba Jebu.
I- Baba
Baba
Jebu.
Jebu.
Yes.
Why me, Mas? Why me? Do I play Baba Jebu?
Can we talk
You
about
must.
it? Because do you know that if
Okay,
I don't want to
yes.
call him it,
Actually, you see, there
no,
was a
but
time that
Tunde,
wait,
your full name is Baba Tunde, so it's you that will talk
thank
about
you,
Baba Ijebu.
thank you,
So
thank you.
Can you imagine? Can you
mm.
see correlation? Okay, but you see again, it's not just about the Baba Jebu thing. Um, Baba Jebu is an offshoot of the desire to get rich. We are talking about the quick rich syndrome. And so this Baba Jebu thing is one avenue most Nigerian youth, especially the male folks, feel that they can get rich. So it's not just only Baba Jebu now, like I'm trying to point out. Now, somebody was writing a post and he said that most Nigerian youths, the male, are either doing Baba Jebu or doing Yahoo Yahoo, while the female, in the bid to get rich quick, while the female are into hookup. So when Buhari said lazy Nigerian youth, he knew what he was saying, because you see that majority of our youths, more than well, I don't have any authority
Statistical.
statistics to back it, but I'm very sure, certain. I believe that if we do a survey, that 50% of Nigerian youths are, for the male, either into Baba Jebu or Yahoo Yahoo, and the female into hookup. It is so prevalent. And you see this Baba Jebu thing, it's not like me, I will always say that it now goes just beyond Baba Jebu, even Bet Niger too.
It's
So we
all
have
gambling.
they are all gambling. They are all gambling. So it's not just about this again. So well, like I don't want to take us back that some of the causes of this thing is just abject poverty.
Mhm.
There was
Yeah, we
something that was,
discussed this already. Mhm.
yes. I don't want to go back. That's why I said I don't want to go back again, because I know that there was a time that there are some frenzies on the social media that once people see that one or two person make money like this
MMM.
like even this recently of recently, there's what we call this telegram mining. It was tap 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 tap, so it's you also tapping. So you see on the streets, old man, young man, small boy, middle age, everybody with their phone. You're like this. Most people have phones have gotten broken because of this. This is because what's it called, the poverty in the land is so high. Now, what are the effects of all these things? We have mentioned that it breaks family values and all of that. I want to look at the mental issues too, that the mental health issues that the adverse effect of this quick rich syndrome can bring, because we know that constant pressure to attain unrealistic financial success can lead to anxiety. These days you even see some parents, some mothers pressuring their daughters, pressuring their son. Can't you see that? Can't you see your friends? Can't you see your mates, the way they are making it? So is it too head that they have? What is happening? What is happening to you? You get? So all these things can bring about anxiety for the young folk, and before you know, depression sets in, low self-esteem, and these are all mental health related problems. Low self-esteem begins to come in. So anybody that is not strong now begin to look at himself that my friend, me and Tumi, we are those days now. Me and him, we used to drive we used to drive bicycle those days in Ajakuta now. With one hammer, waiting. I didn't get three head. Which happened to me, you know. So when parents pressure their word, it brings about mental health issues, and they begin to have low self-esteem. They begin to develop some unnecessary form of anxiety and depression. So and that leads to a lot of mental health issues. Well, that is one aspect of adverse
And
effect.
can
Like,
I just add to that what you said with mental health issues? There are certain things you get your hands into, like the ritual one, kidnapping, that you can never sleep well again. It's not a cause, oh. It's just there. It's a natural phenomenon. There are
that's
certain
like
things you go and
okay,
do, what people call karma. It's something you go and
karma.
touch. It will you will never sleep in your life again. You will be nobody's pursuing you. The wicked run it when no one pursued them. I have to say it in King James Version. You become, you become little by little, the Lulu, you be start become crazy because of certain things that you've gone to put your hands into. And even there are certain kind of Ponzi schemes, you go and put your hand and you lose money, you become mad, you will lose it. Have you ever lost
Yeah,
money that your body blood pressure, Jesus is Lord. It's not, it has happened to someone that I know. You know this WhatsApp
It's
scam
true.
that they will tell you this thing, the person was not okay. You have to put them on the medicine. Doctor, you will know the medicine that to help the person sleep.
There's hardly any Nigerian that has not lost money in one way or the other. That's the truth.
Yes. But
So
then you get some loss of money, where it will take your
way
blood.
pass. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Have you ever lost money that is not even your own?
Or money that you borrowed.
Around you.
Let me just add one thing. It's also almost like we're taking us back again. But this is the problem with this 1 hour show. It's always the issue
There's
with
no
time.
problem with the
But
1 hour, bro.
I need to add this thing. So another problem we have is a dysfunctional society. So I in Nigeria done so many business. The truth is that even currently I'm in a group where we do businesses. Sincerely trying to be hardworking and doing business, which if you put the same effort in a functional society, you will find yourself rise and
succeeding.
progress. Unfortunately, in our country, it doesn't work. So you can imagine the discouragement. Somebody who is willing to be hardworking decides to start something. Before you know, the naira will go, the money you've invested becomes worthless. If somebody, for example, comes to dupe you or whatever, you can't follow it up. The society does not support you to be able to recover your money. So all this creates a society that even those who are willing to follow due process would not still end. Many would not end in success, which they would otherwise earn in other countries.
So there's no proper governance
Yeah,
on
so
how to hold people
it's a
responsible.
complex. We're not trying to discourage people. We're just trying to
From
highlight the
hard work.
problems. But the truth is that while a lot of our youths have faults to blame, but there is also a lot of other influences that even makes it difficult for people to do the right thing. Imagine living in a society where it is difficult for you to do the right thing, rather than the way it should be, whereby it's easier for you to do the right thing, but even more difficult and less rewarding to do the wrong thing, which is the
To
way
make it
society
more,
should function.
to put this more in context, give us an example. Because, like, for instance, here in the UK, you've talked about business. Like, for here, if you're in the UK, if you're selling like a car and someone buys the car and the person doesn't pay you, refuse to pay you the car, you'll be able to follow through, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the person, there are different of the ombudsman that you can report to and
Mm.
follow it through, and you get your money back, or even insurance. So put in your in context, what happened? Can you give us quickly your context of the experience in Nigeria, or an experience that you know of that
Okay,
would
let's
define
give let's
someone?
give let me use my own self as an example because that's the way I like to talk. So I've never fallen for any Ponzi scheme, MMM, nothing. I've always preached against them because I did a lot of research before when MMM was coming. I was very interested, like how can you make so much money just so I did a lot of research and then I found the secret that this is how they work. And then by way of principle, I was like, I'm not even willing to make money if others are going to lose money from the same process. So it didn't align with my own principle. Because some people say, it doesn't matter if you are smart enough, you can make it. But my point was, even if I make it, I need to make it for others to. I need others to lose for me to win. It doesn't fall in line with me. But then along the line, years ago, when I was saying I was becoming a bit comfortable financially, because when I was in Nigeria, there was never a time you can be comfortable, man. The truth is, it doesn't happen. But at the time when
Even
I was
as a
becoming a bit
medical doctor.
at all, it doesn't happen. It's even worse because
Ah, no, 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 no.
the
Don't go there.
no,
It's
I'm
even
telling
worse.
you, no, no, no. So let me tell you, the amount
Dr.
of
Sheuti is shaking her head.
no, it's true. The amount of responsibility you have is far more. You won't understand. You need to be on the other side to understand what I'm saying. Anyway, let me not distract. When so one time came and I've always been this type that likes farming. I've always loved the idea of farming. I both for my own self and for the society. I feel it's one area that can develop the society. So some of these agricultural schemes came up, and which didn't appear to be a Ponzi scheme. You understand? And so for me, it was like, oh, this is a nice one. I was really happy about it. Like, this is what we want. This is what we want to promote in our society. So people come in, they bring in their money, contribute to these agricultural schemes with the hope that they would invest the money in agriculture and the proceeds we will share. Was that not a beautiful and lofty idea? It was. It was nothing really Ponzi in nature. But what happened? I know how much I invested. I don't want to say it on live. But suddenly, the person running the scheme just went AWOL, just started misbehaving, took billions of naira and ran away. Ken Farm, that was the name. Now what yeah, how
You haven't forgotten the name.
no, it's Ken Farm. I didn't forget the name. So anyway, how does this relate to what we're
Hey
saying?
God,
If it was in a functional society,
you'll be able
the
to
guy
track
would
the person.
not the guy would not just be walking free now, and we might even be able to retrieve parts of our money.
Something like
Yeah.
that happened to a
Yeah,
friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, and the
yeah,
person ran to the UK here. The case was launched against the person. The person returned the money because the person was here and the
yeah,
government got involved.
yeah. So, but in Nigeria, when in fact, when some people gathered money and were able to, because it's money you use to fight, not to pay lawyer
Mm-hmm.
or to even
Yes,
allow
now.
for the system to allow you to fight it is money. People gathered money, caught the guy, put him in cell. But in Nigeria, it's all about who get money. So as you bring money, he himself will bring money, release himself.
Whoever
So
which the
now
money plenty pass, right? Go win.
yes. So this is just an example. Automatically, you have told me, guy, if you have money tomorrow and you want to invest, don't think of investing in Nigeria. Who is going to suffer? It's
There's no money
Nigerians that
in
will
Nigeria.
suffer.
Yeah.
There was a time years ago where the money that was coming from diaspora was over 100 times more than what Nigeria was making.
What are you saying? Is what's happening now?
So, but now people are no longer sending money to Nigeria. People are no longer building houses in Nigeria. People are now like, oh, because the society is not protecting you. So that is one of the impacts, which I really felt as in one of the examples I wanted to give you, and the implication. So it's a ripple effect. Right now, if you ask me, I would not send my one. Instead of that, I will spread to give it to somebody because there's no protection for your business, no protection for what your loss. People can do anything and go. You can't report to anyone. If you report, you need to pay to have the process done. It's just a mess.
So
I don't know
Nelly
if this
Okoli is
satisfied
fed.
you.
In Nigeria, the poor has no voice. So you are voiceless. Nelly Okoli said in Nigeria, the poor has no voice. So
Mm.
if you have no money, you are dumb. That's for Nigeria.
So imagine. So who wants to be poor?
Nobody.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So
So
who wants to
anyway,
be
we've spent so much time talking about this problem and including the impact in the society. We've run through our time, but let's just give 10 minutes and quickly and see if we could prefer solutions based on all what we've said. Because it's not going to be good if we come and lament and we offer no solution. I know it's a difficult one. Even me, as I'm talking now, I'm imagining what solution, because the problem is left, right, center, institutional, cultural, educational,
religious?
everywhere. So we don't even know where
Religious
to
self.
start from. Religious. But if you get money,
You have stressed
you
the
can become a
religious
You will
one.
deacon. Yeah,
become you will become Daddy
you
J
can become a
overnight.
deacon. It doesn't matter how you. In fact, if you have money, if you have good money, you can take the mic from pastor to preach it on Sunday. It doesn't matter the kind of lifestyle you live. So all these are factors. But let's quickly spend the next 10 minutes and profile some solutions. At least give someone hope, because I'm almost feeling hopeless right now. So who would like to start?
Well, the solution is very difficult too. But again, the solution is very difficult. But again, we must just say something. The thing is, um, in this thing, everything, every the problems we face in the society starts from the family, right? Once you get the family right, you get the society right. So the solution lies also in the family. If the father and the mother can um, imbibe, try and impact on their words or their children values, sustainable values that will help the children in future. And once those children imbibe those values, you know, sometimes, well, influences can come in future, maybe by the kind of friends they mingle with as time goes on, as they grow. But they used to say there's this proverb, they say old habits die hard, right? So you will still be remembering the song. Like me now, I still remember some of the things. There's something that is very golden that permit me to say. Little Miss Mom told me when when we were still children. They are golden words, they are golden nuggets. There are things that my parents told me, that are nuggets to me that I still hold on to. So if parents are exemplary in their conduct, in their behavior, in the things they say, in the things, in deeds and in words, they can um, conveniently be able to pass those things to their children, right? And even if the children will derail, sort of, it will not be too bad, And so if we have a functional family, we will not have a dysfunctional society. I leave it there.
Can I just build on what you said? Because just to build on it, just add something. So you see, the way this thing is so bad, you saw the way it was difficult for us to start talking because we didn't even know where to start from. When a house is very bad and dilapidated, what do you have to do? You have to break it down and build a new one. And building a new one takes time. So the truth is that, just like Tunde said, we cannot do this thing overnight. But if we start with one brick at a time, build the foundation, then we can get there. So how do we build the foundation? Family units, values. If it's one family at a time, one person at a time, you change their way of thinking. You are gaining one part of the society who will think differently, who would say, no, this is wrong. This is not right. This is not how things should be done. And over time, If we are lucky, we can get there. So just wanted to add that to what Tunde has said.
I think it takes us nicely to talking about government reforms as well. Having settled the family one, we actually need to look at the government as well. As you explained earlier on, is who has money that can even fight for a case. The judiciary has let us down, the legislative has let us down. So everyone is just what the land is lawless now. If someone offends me, I can go and take the person and lock them up in a dungeon. It's just lawless. So the government has to be reformed, and the reform of the government would affect the educational reform as well. When I say education, I'm very careful. It's not about going to university. That's something we get wrong. Education is teaching me what to do with my hands. There are people here. Do you know that mechanics are one of the richest people in the UK? And I'm not talking of those that went to study mechanical engineering. Do you know? Have you tried to fix your shoe before in a cobbler? Do you know how much they charge? You just say, I might as well go and buy a new shoe. There are certain trades that, in fact, here in the UK is gold. And it's not about we went to school to study, it's the gift of your hands. I'm a Christian, and the Bible says your gift will make room for you. If you like, once do PhD and get a rematus or whatever they call it. If you don't have a gift,
Emeritus.
yes, if you don't have a gift, you're nothing. And I think we need to understand the apprenticeship schemes. The Igbos have got it right. They have this apprenticeship scheme where people, they train their boys, they train them, and they open business, and you see they flourish. Find it even in some societies here. You see they train each other, they train, and they get their hands into things, and we don't necessarily need to. We have made it look like education only means university. It's not true. Even here, how many of the British people do you see went to university? But they have their gifts. They are coders, they are programmers that are gifted. They didn't go to school, they just got that skill.
Yeah,
So I think
it's
educational
we that
reform,
believe in school. As in, if you go to developed societies, fewer people actually go. They will do the basic education,
yeah,
but just few people go to the university and all that. But
yeah.
they
And
develop their skills and they are
also,
okay. They are doing
this
well.
go and try making hair. Go and try making hair and tell me about it.
Or
You go and have,
plumbing. Or
yes,
plumbers.
plumbing, thank you. You see this crafts, a carpenter. You see all this craft, construction, mason. Hey, if I know how to build, I would have been a millionaire now. And these are trades. So educational
And
reform
we will go and do 7 years medicine.
to go and sanctify people's mind, to say it's not everybody that will be accountant, it's not everybody that will be engineer, it's not everybody that will.
Oh
Please try and
God.
understand your gifts. If you have a gift of making nails, of doing nails, of making hair,
And
of
you will
making
spend lesser
jewelry.
years in learning those things oh, compared to 7 years of rigorous medical
No,
training.
see, we need
Yeah?
doctors. We need doctors. Please don't take that away. We need
Don't
doctors.
We have
discourage
two
people,
doctors
please,
here.
please.
However, it's not
If
everyone
you want
that
to
knows how
be
to do that.
rich, please, oh, if you
Yeah.
want to be
If
a
you want to be
billionaire,
rich,
very rich, please, oh, I'm a
don't,
living witness.
don't
Medicine is
study
not
medicine,
it. Medicine is not it.
but you'll be
Medicine is
comfortable.
okay for you to be okay, just be okay, but you're not going to be very rich. So if you want to be
And
very rich, there are
To
things
be
you
okay
can
is
do.
okay.
But to be okay is okay. We're not. In fact,
Yeah.
what we're even promoting is that not everybody has to be very rich,
Be that
and we
good.
shouldn't
Not everybody
respect
has to be that
people.
good.
We shouldn't respect people based on their
yeah,
financial capacity,
yes, yeah.
but what who they are.
But I will be honest with you, I can also remember back when we were growing up, and I saw the way our parents suffered in the company. How with all their education, there were times when they didn't get paid, and I actually told
Yeah.
myself I will never be like that.
Hmm.
Benny, I told myself I will never be like that. Told myself, with hindsight, I look at it and I said, no prophet had to prophesy to me. I prophesied to myself. And I prayed, and not just pray, I actually started walking towards it. So it's one thing, our sister said it right. It's one thing to have a prophecy, it's another thing to work hard towards it. The process doesn't come with the prophecy. And again, please, parents, even if somebody speaks into your child's life, please don't blow that child's head up. Just keep it. If you look at the story of Mary and her son, it says she kept these things to her heart. There are things that you don't, because he had siblings. Our beloved Jesus had siblings. He was the first child. Imagine they are blowing his head up. How he would have how the other ones will feel. Imagine you are blowing the last one's head that, oh, they said you are going to America. They said you are going to, how his head will blow and he will start disrespecting and maybe even thinking of ways of making. I think it's important that religiously, what I'm trying to say, one of the things that we should also understand is, in as much as we immerse ourselves in our religion, in our faith and everything, let's leave room for hard work, because hard work is good. There is dignity in labor.
In
Thank
fact, the Bible itself says faith without works
you. He's
is
dead.
so work is very important.
So thank you for that.
Okay. Who else want to add something? We are getting
Maybe
to
she
the
wants to
end of
add
our
final
program.
word because it's past time.
Yeah, yeah. Today's our timekeeper. He doesn't play with time. Once this time is, we have to end this now.
I'm grateful. I think we've said it all. To continue to reiterate it, it's a process. Life is a process. And you've all said it all. Thank you, Sas. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone. This is how we do it. It's just 1 hour. I'm telling you, there are people who spend on TikTok spend 6 8 hours. I don't know how
Yeah.
they do it. Unfortunately, some of us are not very privileged with time. So this is what we can offer now. Hopefully, with time, we can give more. Please support what we do. How can you support us? You can like our lives. You can share them. You can especially follow us, because a lot of people like what we do but don't follow us. They forget to do that. Please follow us on our different platform. This is where you can support what we do. For now, we're not asking for any gifts. In fact, for me, I prefer to see or follow than to see any gifts. That's
We're
our
not trying to
priority for
get
now.
rich. We're not trying to
So
get
we are
rich.
just trying to share our message to people.
We are
For
not
some
get
of
rich
for
quick.
for most of us, it's a part time. It's not, we're not looking at social media to help us to make money. No, it's a part time. If the money comes, fine. But please, you can support us in these various ways. We are on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm sure I'm missing one now. So
YouTube.
please, and YouTube, yes. So please support us. Thank you so much, and we'll see again next week. Meanwhile, my panel members, please, you can stay behind when I log out from live. Okay, please. So we'll see you next week.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Lovely
Bye.
to see you all and to meet
Thank
you all.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.